Greetings, ladies. We are going to go ahead and get started. So, due to time constraints, um, the first thing we're going to do, this is our presentation. This is the third part of our series that we have been working on, and I am really happy to say that we've finished. Tonight is the woman you've been waiting to become. 3 weeks ago, we walked into this room. We came here together, and we have not been the same since. In our first session, we named the pattern. So we got to the root of what the pattern was, the things that we tolerated. Session two, we found the root. Now tonight we is not about what we are breaking. It's about who taught um, us to be small. Um, Tonight it's about who you're becoming, and now that you know what you know about yourself, tonight is the turn, tonight is the rise. So we are rising to become the woman that we say we want to be. Make sure it's recording. All right. So tonight I want you just to give me one word for how you walked into this room. Um, Sorry, I'm gonna messing up here. For how you walked in, and what is one thing that you um how you walked in versus how you are now for right now. So one word for me when I walked in was unsure and really uneducated about who I was in this walk. And the one word for me is for how I feel right now is I feel um successful. I know they said one word, but rejuvenated. I feel rejuvenated, we'll say. I want to make sure we're recording. So I'm going to go down. I'm not doing that. I'm doing things wrong. Okay. Apologize. All right. So the series recap. We spent session one identifying what we've been accepting. Okay. Session two is we asked who handed us the permission slip. And now what we discovered in this, the patterns were real, the roots were real, but neither of them in our what are part of the destiny, are part of the life that we are supposed to be living. And they're just like the starting point for us recognizing who we are and where we've been and knowing where we're going. So tonight we talk about where do we go from there. So I remember a year ago I had mentioned to you guys that we got to a place where we got on the plane and we made it to this point. And now we are at a space of we got to know where we're going. And so we're not going to continue to do the same thing. And basically, what I'm going to say is we're not going to keep living the same lie. We're not going to keep doing the same thing and just expecting different results. So that's not going to be the thing for us. And that's not what I want for you because I don't want it for myself. So here are four truths about the woman you're becoming. Okay. The first truth is she already exists inside of you. She is already there. She is waiting for you to, um, what I can say is like pull back the veil and reveal her, pull back the the covering of who you are, that imitation of who you are to reveal this woman. Okay. The woman you've been waiting to become is not a stranger. Like she knows you, you know her. Like you, we are one and the same. We know each other, right? I know you, you know me. And she's crying out to you. So when you're going through these downhill battles and these moments of depression, it's like because she's not happy. And so when a woman's not happy, what normally happens is that she starts to um she gets depleted, she gets becomes, unhappy with the version of herself. So she is the version of you that was always there before the agreements, before this classroom, before us meeting, before we became, before you learned to make yourself smaller. Becoming is not building something new, it's returning to the truth. So when we look at, how can I say, who is in the Bible that I can talk about? Um, Something that was already there. You're just returning to, oh, the prodigal son. So let's think about the prodigal son when he stepped away from his father and he wanted all of what all of his belongings, right? And he returned to his father because this thought in his mind said, this is not who I am. And so he said, well, I could just go back to my father's house and I could just become a slave. Not so much as becoming the his son, he was returning as something he wasn't. So, what we're looking at is returning to something that is true. Truth is, you're his son. So, why are you returning back to something that is not who you really are? We're no longer going to return back to the old part of us. We're returning to this new woman, the woman that we are meant to be, um, and becoming her. Okay, you're not waiting to become her. You are in the process of remembering her. Remember, he remembered, oh, my dad is wealthy. Why am I sitting here about to eat slop? So he knew at that point, my dad is wealthy. So he remembers the process. So remember who you are. She has always been there. She just buried under everything that you were taught to believe about yourself. Okay. So everything that you believe about you is something that someone told you, like our mothers or our friends or people who've told us not to, that we can't make it or that we're not going to be okay or that we're not, we can't have, be, or do, the woman that we say we want to become. The four truths, this is number two. Number two says, becoming requires you to grieve who you were. I believe I went through this like last week. It was like I was just in this moment of like, what is happening? Transformation involves loss. You will lose a lot of yourself. You will lose a lot of your friends. You will lose a lot of who you thought you were because you're becoming her. It's really shedding the old part of you. When the Bible says you can't put new wine in an old wineskin, if you put new wine in an old wineskin, it starts to crack and fall apart, right? So putting old wine in new wine in an old wineskin, I want to become new. So we're learning to shift. You're going to be losing the things. When you stop tolerating, some relationships will shift. So when you stop tolerating bad behaviors, bad company, bad, bad feelings or how people make you feel, when you stop tolerating that, you start to unlearn the thing that it was inherited, all the lies. Some of the identity that we have falls away and it will take you through. And this is why I tell people when you're going through this thing, this is not for the weak. anything that you're doing, spiritual work, your journey, um, none of this is for the weak. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for anybody that's going to fall apart at the seams. Your emotional, upheaval, or you're lashing out at people, or you're bleeding out on everybody. When we think about the woman with the issue of blood, she had issues for 20 some odd years, right? So in those 20 years, you're bleeding out on everybody because your behavior, you're losing things and you really don't realize what you're losing. Okay, some of that old identity falls away. The old woman that you used to be, the person that people thought, well, I could just tell her this or I could do this to her and she's going to accept it. Where now it's like that part of you is no longer um that it falls off. So it's like this shedding of the old skin, the old you. So the version of you that survived by shrinking will have to be released. The woman that you were, the survivor, the woman who was like, well, I just lived and I survived. The woman who is afraid to go out and do a thing because she's still in survival mode. The woman who's afraid to conquer a part of her fear because she's still in survival mode. The woman who's afraid to go out and meet new people because she's in survival mode. The woman who's afraid to go out and just, take herself out on a date because she's in survival mode. The woman who's afraid to take the leap of faith because she's still in survival mode. She's still surviving of something that she's no longer in. That's not failure. This is pretty much your graduation. When that version of you that survived by shrinking, it's released. And so now you're in this graduation mode where you're growing up and you've got your cap and gown on and you're about to walk across the stage because you have to be willing to grieve. And that is something that I wanted people to witness it, so I had to record it because I want people to understand when you're going through a process and a change and you're becoming the person that you say you want to become, people think that it's easy. They think it's all, gumdrops and rainbows and, fluff and cotton candy and rainbow. It is not that. You will be sitting here and you will be lonely. You will be surrounded by thousands of people or just a whole bunch of people, and you will be lonely. You will be unhappy. You will be miserable. You will be grieving. You will be sad, and you will just not. And a lot of people, the reason why they don't go the distance is because they don't understand what's happening. So I want people to understand when I post a video, that's what it is. This is what you're feeling. You're going to feel this because you feel it and you just sit and you're owning the fact that I am in this space and I'm really coming out of it. But man, it's hard. It's tough. It's scary. It's lonely. It's depressing. It is all of the things. But don't let that take you back to the pit and get you back in that pit of quicksand where it sinks you down slowly but surely. Okay. You have to get up and keep walking. Will you have a little bit of the quicksand residue on you? Absolutely. But you got to get up and you got to still keep going because if I can do it, I know anybody can do it. You just have to have the wherewithal and the willingness to do it. That's why the Bible says the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but those that endure to the end. You have to endure to the end. So I went to it kind of gives you where we're at when we say keep walking. We were on a hike with my team and we're walking and there was a part of me that wanted to just give up. I mean, I haven't been in shape and I could tell because the way I was breathing and the way my body was just like I'm not used to this. I'm not used to, this much of a strenuous workout where I'm climbing a mountain, right? So you're going to be climbing these mountains of your life and you're going to be worn out. You're going to be weary. You're going to be, your breath is going to be, you're going to lose energy. You're going to be exhausted. Your breath is going to be taken away. You're going to have to stop sometimes and catch your breath. But it really has to endure till the end. So we made it to the part of it. And there was another section where we had to go up the ladder. And I saw the ladder and I freaked out and I thought, I can't do it. Part of me was like, there's got to be a way around it. And so I was afraid to go up the ladder and up the stairs, and the stairs were very steep. And it was just the fact that for me, there was nothing, guarding me. So if it was something where I wasn't able to see, the sides, I would have been able to make it. So I started climbing up and I thought, you know what, I can't make it. So I turned around and I said, there's going to be a day that I'm going to conquer. But what I will say is, the person that we were with was like, you made it this far. So give yourself some credit that you made it this far. I'm going to tell each and every one of you, you may not be where you want to be or where you thought you were going to be or where you think you should be, but you made it this far. Right now, you've made it this far. You made it to a point where you're watching this video. You made it to a point where you show up. You made it to a point where you started journaling. You made it to a point, God, I thank you. You made it to a point where you started praying more. You made it to a point where you started exercising. You made it to a point where you started doing more self care. You made it to a point where you started telling people, absolutely not. So give yourself that much credit. And I commended the guy, the person that was helping us navigate through the trails. He was like, give yourself this much credit. He was like, but next time, if you want to come back, I will go with you and I will make sure you make it to the top. Those are the kind of people that you want. God, I thank you for this message because you want people that you can get to a certain part, but let's try this again. And when you come back, I'm going to make sure you make it to the top. I'm not going to pressure you right now. I'm not going to force you to do anything, but when you're ready to get to the top, you call me because I got you. So you can't carry the old version of yourself into this new season. You cannot put new wine in the old wineskin. You cannot. You cannot put this new woman into the old body. You cannot put this new woman into the old thoughts. You cannot put this new woman into the old patterns and behaviors and habits and relationships and friendships. You cannot put her back into the old mindset of thinking. You cannot put her in a place where she is just not going to thrive. She served you. She's done. Okay. She kept you safe. Honor her. And then I love you. Thank you so much. But now we got to go to the other side. Truth number three is she moves before she feels ready. She moves before she feels ready. The woman you're becoming does not wait for perfection, for perfect condition. She just does it, right? She moves with fear beside her. At the moment, there was a part of me that was fearful to go up. And then there was a part of me that was like, girl, let's just go ahead and conquer this. But I wasn't ready. And I knew I wasn't ready. She acts on the calling before she can see the whole staircase. Now I seen the whole staircase and I thought, Jesus Christ, I'm not going up that thing. Um, Readiness is a myth that kept you waiting. Okay. Well, I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll do it when I'm ready. But when are you ready? When is that day going to come? Because my thing is, will I ever go back to that mountain? Will I ever go back to that trail? Will I ever do that again? My thing is probably yes, because I need to conquer that. The woman you're becoming decided that waiting was a greater risk. At that moment, I probably should have gone up, but I didn't. She is not fearless. She is faithful. She moves anyway. Because of the cost of staying small finally became greater than the cost of stepping out. Your cost of staying small, um, finally, it becomes the greater cost of you stepping out. I'd rather step out than to continue to be hidden, to continue to be in this mixed place of um, paycheck to paycheck. Well, I don't have enough. Well, nobody loves me. Oh, I don't think I can do that, or not showing up. Well, I've fallen and, God's not going to honor me, or, we don't go back to church. We don't go back to our prayer life because you've messed up one day or you got some kind of issue going on. And rather than you circumvent and keep going, you just fall back. And so you got to start all over again. I just know those days. I know what that feels like when you just sit there and there was one day I scrolled on TikTok all day long and I thought there was something more that I probably could have been doing, but I'm sitting here settling and being fearful and not faithful to myself and honor myself and do something that is going to make me. I could have went for a walk. I could have worked out. I could have did something, but I didn't. So because the cost of staying small finally became greater than the cost of stepping out. Truth number four is she knows who she is, so she cannot be redefined. You cannot redefine Tarina. She knows who she is. She's always been this girl. She's always been this woman. She's always been, witty, smart, charming, successful, beautiful, wise. She's always been this way. When you know who you are, other people's opinion stops being votes. When you are rooted in your identity, your calling, your worth, your purpose, no one, and I mean no one, can talk you out of it or make you sign another silent contract. Identity is the anchor. Tonight we plant the anchor. All I can think of is the Akashic records. When you go in and you have all of these contracts and the Akashic records, you need to go in there and you need to, like, we need to get rid of all those contracts because they no longer exist. When a woman knows who she is, I mean really knows, she stops asking for permission. She stops apologizing for taking up space. She stops negotiating with people who were never qualified to define her. Kim Burrell said it. My name is carries weight. You can't drag me. My name is too heavy. It's too heavy for you to carry. And I thought, you know what? But people are making fun of it, her interview. But that word really stuck with me. My word carries too much weight. It's too heavy for you. So you can't drag something that's too heavy for you. How can you do that? What would you think that you could say to me that would make me go back to being the woman that you think I should be? What would make you think that you can continue to run the lines or make these assumptions about me or belittle me or say these things? What would make you do that? My name carries too much weight. And here's how I know my name carries weight because 10/25, 1971, I was predestined to do this thing right here. I was predestined to be the woman, the writer, the speaker, the motivator, the prophet. I was born for this. They have a song that says I was literally born for this. And I can show you, I was born to do this right here. So I'm not going to keep negotiating with people. And I said that last year before we came into the new year. I'm not arguing with nobody. I'm not going to keep going back and forth with you. I said what I said. And if you don't like what I said, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to keep moving on. I'm not going to beg you to be my friend. I'm not going to beg you to be my child. I'm not going to beg you to be your grandmother. I'm not going to beg you to be my boyfriend. I'm not going to beg you to be my husband. I'm not begging nobody. I'm not begging you for nothing. I'm not even negotiating. It's non-negotiable for me to keep going back and forth with a person. When I said what I said the first time, that's how I felt. And here's the thing, and I meant it because it took me some time. This new woman is really strategic. She sits and she thinks about what am I going to say? And sometimes my silence says everything to you. Amen. The woman you've been waiting to become is not waiting on a miracle, a man, a moment, or a sign. She's waiting on you. She's waiting for you to get up and do what you said you were going to do in 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022. She is waiting for you to get up and do the thing that you said you wanted to do then. She's waiting on you to decide, yes, today is it. Today's the day that we're going to go out here and we're going to do the thing that we said we were going to do. Today's the day that I'm going to get up and I'm going to go work out. Today's the day that I'm going to stop drinking. Today's the day that I'm going to stop calling little Pookie on the phone and trying to get him to be something that he's not to me. Today's the day that I'm not going to keep negotiating my salary. Today's the day that I'm not going to keep negotiating my business. That's a non-negotiable. The price is the price. Okay. I'm not going back and forth with you trying to give you a price and you want a family discount or you want this kind of discount or you just no, I'm not doing that. Okay. She's waiting on you to decide once and for all that you are worth becoming. You are worth the woman that you said you wanted to be. We have been doing this now for 4.5 years, going on 5. What are you waiting for? She has been patient. Yes, yes, she has. We have all been patient. But for me, she's done waiting. She's done. And tonight, so are you. I made that declaration to myself in 2025. And it wasn't even the whole month of the whole year. It was December, November. I made a declaration that I will no longer keep doing the same thing on a different day at a different time at a different month at a different year with the same people just doing different things. This is diabolical. Same people, same thing, just a different time. Crazy. Non-negotiables for me anymore. Okay. So the vision as a truth telling. Let's set it up. This is not wishful thinking. This is you telling the truth about who you already are in your spirit. She is waiting for you to tell her, girl, you are smart. You are beautiful. You are witty. You are strategic. You are a master teacher. You are a successful writer. You are a wonderful motivator. Your words are exceptional. Your words, vibrate throughout the earth and it changes the whole trajectory of a person's life. Your name, your words just go ahead and break everything that's in a person. Your words make a person think about where they're at and where they're going. Your words are such powerful things. Okay. That's who she's waiting for. She's waiting for you to tell her, girl, we are wealthy, we are successful, we are entrepreneurs, we have several businesses that we are always successful in. So before your circumstances catch up, tell her, listen, baby girl, this is who we are. Don't look at what's around you, look at what's in you. So, what we're going to do is we're going to write from that space. So, I'm going to give you, I want to say probably 10 minutes. You're going to write a story and you're going to write the character. This is what we're doing. When we think about visualization, and we think about journaling, and we think about storytelling, this is what we're doing is we're writing what she looks like. She looks like, describe the woman you are becoming in full detail. How she carries herself. What does she smell like? How she speaks? What she tolerates, what she doesn't tolerate, what she requires, what she no longer apologizes for. Write her like you already know her. Okay? The version of you, the version that you're releasing, who is the version of you that you are lovingly letting go? The one who stayed too long, the one who shrank often, the one who waited patiently. What do you want to say to her before you tell her bye-bye? When we think about the bachelorette, and when they're giving the roses and they're telling the people, this is what's happening, and they give their dissertation as to why they're not going to be with this person. This is something similar. Do that. The first move she makes. What is the one thing the woman will that I am becoming does differently? Not eventually, not someday, like this week. What can you do differently this week? Um, what she knows for certain. The woman I am becoming knows that she is blank, she deserves blank, and she will no longer blank. Question number 5 is the letter forward. Write 3 sentences from your future self back to the woman sitting in this room tonight. What does she want you to know? So I'll give you 10 minutes and well, I won't give you 10 minutes because everybody's gone. All right. So I'll just go along, but just give yourself time to do that. And here's the next thing. Okay, am I giving you 10 minutes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
I was like, well, I guess I won't be given 10 minutes. Nobody's here.
Nope, I got it.
All right. So at 8:11, you'll come back.
Okie doke.
All right. All right, time is up.
That was a lot.
Yeah, did you get it done?
Me, I got it done. I didn't finish my letter though, but I got the gist of everything.
Okay. All right. How do you feel? Like, how do you feel about writing the letter to the new version of yourself and writing the letter to the old version of yourself?
Um, Everything just lines up. This is just where I am, and so I feel like when we come together on Wednesdays, it's just a reflection of the everyday work,
Mhm,
So
that's good.
yeah.
All right. Uh-oh. Make sure I'm at the right one. Nope. Hold on. Where'd I go? All over the place. Okay, so from who you've been to who you're becoming. Over 3 weeks, we have built a bridge from tolerance to requirements, from an inherited lie to choose truth. Tonight's bridge is the most important, from the identity you've been living in to the identity that you're stepping in. I love that. I love that. So this bridge belief is what you used to believe going into the new identity. So, who have I been living as? The woman who waits, accommodates, and hopes things will change. To who I'm
Mm,
becoming is the woman who decides, she leads, she builds the life that she was called to. Your old identity is something similar, and these are things that you can take from this as you can do your old identity is I put everyone else first and hope that there's something left for me, like the scraps. I'm getting the scraps of my self-care. I'm getting the scraps of my mental, emotional, and financial. I'm getting the scraps of people's bad behavior. I'm getting the scraps of, the things. Caring for myself so it makes me care for others, makes my care for others more sustainable. Um, I cannot give what I don't have.
hmm
If I'm not mentally okay, I can't give you okay. If I'm not showing myself grace and empathy, I can't give that. The new
Exactly.
identity is I fill my own cup first and pour from the overflow. Because if I can't show myself love, I can't give you love, right? If I
Yep.
can't be, honest with myself, I cannot be honest with you. So I can't give you what I don't have.
Exactly.
The old woman, I played it safe because I've been hurt before. My past made me discerning and not prematurely, permanently closed. The new one is like I'm healed and I tried and make wise, um, and I try and wise enough to know the difference. I'm healed enough to try and wise enough to know the difference. I was like,
Know the
what are
difference.
you saying? Like that didn't make any sense to me. But um, all right, so that was the bridge belief that we did. Um, this one is this is how you would do it. My old identity is I've been living as someone who your bridge kind of like in the between of the old and new is I'm beginning to understand that and the new identity is I'm a woman who. So do you want to make your sentences from that?
I'm gonna screenshot it.
Okay. Oh, you're not going to do it now? Okay, that's fine. So I can go. I've been living as someone who is afraid, insecure, um, walks in walked in low level relationships, who was afraid to just be myself and didn't know how to be myself. My bridge is I am beginning to understand that I am a phenomenal woman, that I am so like, I'm so like outstanding. Like this part of me is like she is amazing. Um, and the woman I am a woman who will stand in her authority. You know what they say, 10 toes down. I will stand in my authority and I will stand in the thing that I was birthed to do. So I am a woman who is standing in the thing that I was birthed to do, that I was created to do. All right. So you can say this because the last time we tried to say it together, it didn't work, didn't sound great. So I'll say it first and then you can go. I am no longer waiting for the right time, the right circumstances, or someone else's permission. I am the woman that I've been waiting for. I know what I've been tolerating, and I am done. I know where the lies come from, and I'm not returning them. And I am returning them. I know who I am becoming, and I am walking toward her now. Not Sunday, not when I'm ready, not when it's safe. Now, I am her, and she has always been me. Your turn.
I am no longer waiting for the right time, the right circumstances, or someone else's permission. I am the woman I have been waiting for. I know what I have been tolerating, and I am done. I know where the lies came from, and I am returning them. I know who I am becoming, and I am walking toward her now. Not someday, not when I'm ready, not when it's safe. Now, I am her, and she has always been me.
And the church said, thank you
Amen.
and amen.
Ashe.
All right. Well, that was the lesson for tonight. I'm glad you
Aw-
came. Go ahead.
No, I said awesome.
All right. Do you have
I
anything?
enjoyed it.
I'm going to stop
Nope,
recording.
I wrote all my stuff out